I live here. I noticed from my window patches of yellow and color, what's blooming in my yard. Joy, all of the labor that's gone into this over the last 2 years. A vision come to life, an opportunity to connect with the earth, to be grounded, and to be calm as I enjoy walking through my garden. If you have an interest in adding native plants to your garden, the plants that I'm mentioning today may be just the thing that would work well in your garden. My region is North Central Florida. I'm USDA Hardiness Zone 9A. And if that's a similar planting zone for you, then these are some of the things that you may want to add or that you may already have and are enjoying. The purpose of my walk around is to see what's thriving and spreading and helping the pollinators in this season, which is spring. You'll see a variety of native plants blooming and thriving in full sun conditions, and that if you don't have them in your yard, you may want to add them. And if you have them in your yard, you're already enjoying them. It's spring in the garden and an opportunity for new beginnings and growth and plenty of wonderful projects. I used to look at it like, oh no, look at all those Florida botany. But the pollinators are enjoying them. It's an opportunity to get out, do some maintenance, take care of my garden. The wildflowers North Florida is well known for are blooming beautifully. These are spiderworts. I'm glad I was able to put them in a patch because they do spread. As you can see, they just spread themselves around wherever they can establish. So there's a lot of cleanup to do, but I look at it as an opportunity to be in connection with the earth, to play in the dirt, and to visualize and daydream about what I might do next with the garden. Opsis are blooming now, and when the sun gets higher in the morning, the pollinators are already flying and they will be busy on these. The coreopsis is a Florida native plant and also native to the southeast. The blue salvia next door is a Florida friendly. It's non-native. It's actually a hybrid of two salvias from South America, and it is a perennial, and it's starting to bloom, and it's a huge attractor of bees and butterflies, especially the skipper butterflies and carpenter bees, as well as honeybees and native bees that are non-specific. Some bees are specific to certain plants. Other bees are non-specific, so they can search for nectar and pollen on a variety of plants. What's coming up here? This is amaryllis time in North Florida. And these are gifts from friends. I planted them. I didn't know what they were going to look like. And they are just coming up and opening. They are not a native plant, but they are Florida friendly. Behind them, glorious bloom, are my blanket flowers known as gaillardias, and they are native to the southeastern United States. They originated in Texas, and boy, do the pollinators and butterflies love them. Look at what makes them so attractive. First of all, they have the colors that really attract the butterflies and other pollinators, and they've got an open face, a great landing pad. So the pollinators can just put their feet down and sit here and work on the nectar that is there. Some references say they bloom only summer and fall, but in my yard, they're blooming from early spring until first frost. They just keep putting out seeds and growing and spreading. Flowers are blooming, and then behind them, this has lost its petals, and then this has gone to seed. So I just leave them here, and lo and behold, I have a baby to transplant and another baby, so that I have a lot of blanket flowers that I can share. Awesomeness as the sun comes up, and the beauty of the plantings in the Mary garden exceed my expectations. The dianthus and petunias, the cold bedding plants that I put in, blooming like crazy. Other plants are waking up, and things that were covered with snow are coming back and getting ready for their spring boost of growth. And snapdragons are doing just as I'd hoped. Pansies are still thriving. More dianthus, beautiful reds, actually surprised me and came back from being buried under snow. And the first of the coreopsis that I had transplanted is blooming, and there are plenty of buds waiting to unfold. So this is going to be quite a sight. From the backyard, narrow-leaf sunflowers blooming, and I had hoped that when I transplanted them that at least some of them would grow. And look at that, I have a whole patch of them, and that's fabulous. Pollinator garden is starting to wake up this morning, and my lance leaf tick seed is blooming, and I can see it from a distance. Again, more of the narrow leaf sunflowers behind. A lot of yellow in this bed, and I'm working on trying to have some more colors. The lyre leaf sage, which I think is a wonderful ground cover. Some people think, oh, it comes in, it moves in, it takes over everything. But they are so attractive at this time of year. They're an early spring bloomer, and then they become a flat ground cover. You can see that. I know lots of weeding to do, and you can mow right over them. So I'm leaving them in the yard. Another variety of amaryllis, and these are a surprise. I thought they were going to be solid red, but they are a beautiful variegated color here by the bird bath that I have under my pindo palm. And there are other ones that are coming up around them and may also be a surprise. They don't last all that long, but while they're open and blooming, it's a joy to be able to look out my windows and see these lovely plants. Here are my red lion amaryllis, and I'm thrilled that they are starting to open. They had opened right before Christmas, and then they froze, and I thought that's it for this season, but I'm wrong. They came back. This is a second bloom. Coral honeysuckle is really thriving. It has been blooming for a couple of weeks now, and it just gets more and more blooms, and it'll be perfect timing for the hummingbirds that are migrating north this time of year. Beard's tongue, another early spring bloomer, has started to put out some shoots and blooms, and I noticed yesterday when I was out doing the weeding, which you can see there's a lot of piles of weeds that I hand pulled. Blooming here is also a native. Cut it back in July, and it'll put up new stalks and keep reblooming until frost. The new addition to my garden bed, very happy to have it, is the wild petunia. It has prolific blooms. You can see the open, kind of pale lavender, almost bluish looking blooms. They last a day, but there are plenty of buds behind it. So it is prolific bloomer and will bloom summer into fall. The purple-eyed grass I put in here as a border is really performing well. And it's early morning and the flowers open when there's more sun. But to see it open and blooming, what a wonderful sight this garden patch is. These moss verbena provide this excellent ground cover and bloom like crazy throughout the season. So it's spring and they will be blooming into frost. This is a full sun area. False rosemary, botanical name Controdina canescens. Lavender blooms. When the sun comes up, they'll open up. It's been blooming now for about 3 weeks, and I'm looking forward to it continuing to bloom and grow. I do nothing to it. It likes to be left alone. It tolerates dry conditions, and it wants full sun, sandy soil, well-drained soil. The Florida green eyes is another sun-loving plant. Deep root structure, 1.5 feet deep, and they do not transplant well. So the fact that I have a seed head from an earlier bloom, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I will have additional Florida green eyes. Deer do like to graze on these, so fingers crossed that the deer stay away from it this year. Hope you enjoyed the walk around looking at those beautiful native plants that are blooming and some Florida-friendly plants, all of them attracting pollinators into the yard at this time of year. Our goal is to have plants that bloom different seasons for the variety of pollinators, that there's something in every season, and that there were some things of interest that you can use in your garden, and information was helpful for you to be successful growing the garden that you love. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Garden Yay! See you in the next video.